I want to speak now to Mark Fallon, who is the Interim Executive Director of the Centre for Ethics and Rule of Law at the University of Pennsylvania. Mark was the US government's former chief investigator responsible for bringing suspected terrorists to justice before the military commissions at Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. And he's in Philadelphia now. Mark, thanks very much indeed for joining us. I just wonder, first of all, your response to the news.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I think this is a wonderful symbolic victory for the United States, taking out the Emir of al-Qaida. But I don't think it's due a victory lap just yet. Al-Qaida has grown from numbers of around 500 at the time of 9/11 to tens of thousands that it is today. And so I think what this reflects is really the challenges we've had in our counterterrorism policies, where al-Zawahiri has been able to survive for 2 decades, outlasted the Afghanistan war in safety prior to us being able to eliminate him. And so while it's a great success, and I hope it certainly offers some solace to the 9/11 victims, the USS Cole victim families, and the East African Embassy bombing victim families, I don't think it's really cause for some great elation about how long it's taken for us to get Zawahiri.
Right, you put it as a no victory lap yet. What would constitute the moment at which you could have a victory lap? I mean, is it the erasure of al-Qaida? I mean, that's unlikely.
No, it's unlikely, but al-Qaida has proliferated to franchises. And what we're going to have to see is what is the aftermath of our attack of a Taliban Haqqani household in Kabul. And what we're going to have to analyze if the Taliban government has violated the Doha Agreement, and they will be challenging whether we have violated the Doha Agreement with our attack on what they consider their sovereign country.
I think also, as you mentioned there, the treatment of detainees, whether it was in Guantanamo Bay or extraordinary rendition in various parts of the world, you feel served the United States, served perhaps the Allies very badly indeed in terms of bringing to justice people like al-Zawahiri.
Yeah, well, if you look at the history of al-Zawahiri, he was in Egypt. He was picked up after the assassination of Sadat. He was brutally tortured in the Citadel prison along with Sheikh Omar Abdul Rahman. Rahman came to the United States, sanctioned the First World Trade Center bombings. Zawahiri went and merged with bin Laden to form al-Qaida. And so if you look at this history of torture, if you want to create violent extremists, if you want violent extremists to proliferate, what you need to do is abuse a populace, as we did in Afghanistan and Iraq, to create more enemies. And that's why al-Qaida has grown from 500 to tens of thousands of franchises. And so that's what we have to be wary of.
Mark Fallon, thank you very much indeed.